Howdy, everyone. I hope you're doing well, whenever you are. I, of course, am your host, your future favorite pop star, Landyn Zane. And this is, as it will always be, your favorite podcast, for the record. For the record. Howdy, everyone. I hope you're doing good, honestly. Um, it's a chill weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Kind of coming off of Father's Day, coming off of, I don't know, sports, NBA stuff. Um, yeah. And I mean, like, my family's from Texas, and half some of my family lives around Dallas, so, like, the Mavericks stuff. I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to talk about sports. I like sports sometimes, but this isn't really a sports. This isn't a sports podcast. Or really, yeah, I don't know. We'll move on. But I hope y'all are well. Yeah, it was just a Monday episode. We got some stuff to talk about, some stuff to catch up on, and we'll see what we got. I think we'll just dive in. I saw Bad Boys 4. I think it was on Thursday, I think. It was terrible. It was atrociously bad. Really, really, really bad. But it was entertaining, and there was one part in the movie, one action scene that ironically doesn't even involve Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. That was the best part of the movie, but the rest of the movie was terrible. Literally, it was like it seemed, especially in the beginning of the movie, I remember sitting there and feeling like Martin Lawrence was having a stroke while they were filming the movie the entire time. Like, it is so confusing and so dumb, and they think it's funny, but it's just like not. In certain aspects, you laugh at how dumb and how bad parts of it is, but really, like, seeing Bad Boys 4 really just made me want to go watch the first two, because the first two Bad Boys movies are so good, and comparing those two movies to this one, and even the third one wasn't that great, it makes me sad. Like, the first Bad Boys 2 is one of the best action movies. It's one of the most fun, dumb action movies of the 2000s. Or I think it was 2000s. Let's see. Bad Boys 2. Yeah, 2003. And, like, compared to now, it's crazy how bad this movie was compared to the first two Bad Boys movies. And the third one isn't great, but it was still better than this one. Of just, like, how dumb and how truly just stupid the humor in this movie was. And, like, it was a so bad it was good movie, but it was still pretty fucking terrible. Yeah. It was entertaining. Like, if you go in and you really shut your brain off, like, completely, shit. Obviously, don't go into it expecting that you're gonna be seeing an Oscar movie, but, like, I would like an action movie that has some, like, logical sense. And it's not that the story was dumb. The stories of these movies are always dumb. It was that the dialogue and everything was, like, so ridiculously dumb. Like, it just was, like, angering. And it is really a disservice to the first two, because the first two Bad Boys movies are just so fun. Probably some of Michael Bay's best work. Not probably, easily some of Michael Bay's best work is those first two Bad Boys movies. But yeah. But if y'all liked it, dope. I don't know. What else do we got? Oh my gosh. I saw this video of this kid. I was looking for things to talk about when I was making, like, the outline for this episode. I saw this video of this congressman was talking to, I don't really know what he was doing, but he was speaking, and it was a publicly, like, live recorded video, and the congressman had his son with him, and he told his son to smile at the camera for his little brother, and the little kid, this was probably like a 6 or 7 year old kid, this little boy, was with his dad, and his dad told him, he said, smile at the camera for your brother. And the kid literally is on live TV, and it was everywhere on the internet after I found it. It is fucking hysterical. This little kid looks at it and just goes, and then he's smiling, and then he starts, like, looking around and making faces, and, like, you can see in his head he's thinking about what stupid shit to do. And then he goes, like, he, like, starts sticking his tongue out, and he's like, it on like national TV where his father is a congressman right in front of him. Like, and this kid is making the dumbest faces and like making himself laugh, and he's like making hand signals and hand signs and stuff. It was fucking hysterical. Oh my, I laughed so hard at this video and watched it so many times. And it's like the full clip's like 5 minutes long, but there's like 30 seconds where this kid is just going ham, making hand signs, making faces, doing all this stuff. And his dad's giving this like super professional speech, or trying to, like Congress. Like it's one of those things that you would see in like South Park, but it was hysterical. And I highly recommend y'all go seek it out and find it. I left the air conditioning on again. I feel like I do that every time I film this. Even if y'all can't hear it, I would like to think that you can. But it's getting really hot in LA, so I'm probably just going to have to start leaving the air conditioning on. But like, I don't know. Or I could use the power of AI to take the noise out. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. Turn it back on. Change my mind. Because I hope y'all can't hear it. What else do I got? Go watch that video of that kid in Congress. Hilarious. The Boys season 4 has come out. Or well, it was the first 3 episodes. I love The Boys so much. I get everybody wants to shit on Marvel now. Everyone wants to shit on DC. Superhero movies are dumb. They're over. I'm a comic book superhero nerd. I'm a geek. I love all of it. Like if you could have asked me what I wanted to be growing up, other than like an entertainer, I always say like the answer was always entertainer. But if I had one option of it could be anything, like whatever I wanted in the universe, it would have been superhero. So like, and then The Boys, this like twist. It's why I like Invincible so much too. This little slight twist on the superhero story. The Boys is so good. And these first 3 episodes of season 4 are, Billy Butcher's character, and then you have like the dynamic between Frenchie and Kimiko and that story, and then like it's just like it all. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And then you have like, oh my gosh, what's the guy that plays Negan? He's in this now. What's his name? Who plays Negan? I can't remember the guy's name. He's hardly in the first 3 episodes. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's hardly really not in the first 3 episodes that much, but like his character is making it more interesting. And then like Homelander and all these new, oh my gosh, the new season of The Boys is so good. It's so good. And there are leaks online of like what's happening, and I am avoiding them like the plague. I do not want to know. It's just like everything is coming together, and there's all these and if they pull it off, there's like all these disconnected fragments of the story of like this is happening over here and this is this and that and here, and if they find a way to bring it and tie it all together into one like bang, just moment of like a climax at the end of the season, man, it could be like a Homelander. It could be phenomenal. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and it makes me. I never really watched. Oh shit, what'd they call it? Was it Gen V? Was the other like the college Gen V? Yeah, I never watched that, but it makes me want to go back and watch it now because I know Homelander appears at the end of that season or the first season of Gen V, so I probably will end up going back and watching it because I don't like waiting a week for each episode, but like it does build up for a show like this, it works really well. Yeah, but I'm really excited for The Boys. I need to go back. I need to watch the second season of Invincible too, because I never went back and watched it. And I loved the first season of Invincible. Came out when I was in high school, and it's been almost 4 years now, or 3 years. Yeah, which is crazy. What else do we got? Maddie Healy is engaged. My favorite band of all time. Their lead singer, Maddie Healy. I know he gets a lot of shit on the internet, but love the band, love the man, love the production, songwriting, love all of it. 1975, seen them in concert twice. We'll see them again if they come to LA. Love them. Engaged. The man's engaged. And like, good for him. Good for him. Settling down. Hope he's like chilling out. Like just good for him. What else do we got? Oh, um, this is more like nerdy and really more like old music, 80s, 90s, whatever era you want to talk. I mean, it's like 80s, 90s, but REM reunited briefly, and then there was an interview I saw of them that they did too, and the interviewer was like, "So, are you guys ever going to be back together?" And they all flat out said like, "No." And it was never like a maybe for a reunion tour. They just flat out, all of them were like, it's not going to happen. And one of them said the best thing that they said about REM and how they're not getting together. One of the members of REM said, I can't remember who it was, but said, we had our moment in the sun. We had our time in the sun. And in trying to bring that moment back will only be a disservice to what we had at one time. And I love that so much. I love that sentiment of like, take what you can get when it's amazing and leave before you spoil it for yourself. Like, fall on your own sword and go out on your own terms and don't ruin a good thing. That's why I admire Billy Joel so much. Of like, he was in his, I think he was in his early 40s when River of Dreams came out. And granted, at the time, he was very bitter about the music industry, personal stuff, but like, he put out 12 albums, just like the Beatles. And after River of Dreams came out, he was just like, I'm done. No more albums. He put out the classical album after that, but like, and then the song he put out at the beginning of this year, or early this year too. But other than that, it was just like, nothing. It's like 12 albums. He was like, I'm done. This is the best it's going to get. He's like, I'm only going to make albums that are worse than what I could make in the past. So he was done. And then REM has the same thoughts. And I respect that so much as an artist of like, when the well runs dry, don't try to like keep digging and find more water. Just like move on and find something new that you enjoy. Yeah. But that REM, it was nice that there was a band that is still like, it's like, we had our time and we're going to let other people do their thing now. What else do I have? Dude, what else do I have? What are my notes? Oh man. So, the there was I can't remember who interviewed her, but Celine Dion did like a big, like, I don't know if it was Dateline, I think, is a murder show. There was one of those big interview, ABC, big networks television interviews Celine Dion did, talking about just everything, her Vegas residency. And she was talking about how she had stiff person syndrome, and she was hiding it for a while and still trying to do her performances in Vegas. And there's a clip of her talking about how it affected her voice and like destroyed her voice. And there's a clip of her trying to sing and like singing like she normally could and used to. I don't know if the scene is how her voice still is, if it's gotten better or when it was really bad, of her trying to sing and she's literally in tears crying because her voice is so hoarse and it like objectively doesn't sound good. And you can see the pain in her eyes of like how she knows she should sound and how far off from that she does. And it's really, really heartbreaking of like, it's like when I think it was Julie Andrews, she got, what's it called? She got throat cancer and she had to have her tonsils or some part in her throat like removed or some surgery done to get rid of it. And it destroyed her vocal cords and she couldn't sing anymore. And it's really, really hard to watch somebody who is at the top level of talent in their field. Like Celine Dion is easily one of the best female like pop singers and singers in pop music in general, male and female, of all time. And to watch this clip of her where she is like fully in tears that she can't do what her voice used to be able to do and what she knows her voice and her body should be able to do is heartbreaking. It's really, really like there's it's a pain of like this thing, like it's one of my greatest fears is like something like that happening of like I can't play my instruments or I can't write or I can't or like I lose the big two for that is like I lose my sense of hearing or my sense of sight. Like I can't hear music or I can't see movies and see things of like I guess that's a lot more dramatic, but like this idea of losing the physical capabilities and the things that allow me to do the creative things and the things that I love more than anything else. The idea of losing that is terrifying. And to see somebody who has actively gone through that and what it has done to them is like hard to imagine. Of like yeah, I'm getting emotional over, which is it's a dumb thing to get emotional over, but like I really feel for her. And I hope Celine Dion has everything works out for her. Because also like along with that, stiff person syndrome from the very minimal to almost nothing I know about it, in and of itself is a horrible thing to deal with. And then along with that, her as a result not being able to do what she truly loves, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. Like it goes we can switch subjects a bit. But it comes back into like I'm coming off clearly, I've talked about it somewhat in these episodes of like the past since I've gotten back from Iowa, and it's just this time of year of like I'm gonna burp. Maybe that. No, I guess not. But coming off of like getting back from Iowa and summer starting and it just being that time of year, like seasonal depression is really kicking my fucking ass. The past, really the past 2 weeks, but like the past, I've felt it like the past month, past 6 weeks, probably the past month, but it's been really, really, really bad the past 2 weeks. And just like coming off of that, and then on Saturday, which when I record this is only yesterday, I had a horrendous day on Saturday of just like not a good day. And it's just kind of all coming together of like how was I going to connect this to Celine Dion? I totally forgot. Shit. Fuck. I forgot. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Um, um, I got it. So I remembered. So coming off of all of that, just like that bad day and everything else of just like really understanding the older I get, I say at 21 years old, very young. The older I get, the more and more I keep understanding that like getting that the main thing in life, I think I know for me, but I think just for people in general, is doing the best you can to work through every insecurity and every issue into like to fill the gaps and to fill the holes and really become oh god the best version of yourself. I hate when people say that, but like doing the best you can at every moment to always try. And that's really, like, the past month, that's really been testing. There's fucking dust all over this snow globe. I kind of want to lick it and clean it. But I'm not gonna. But I really want to. Just know I want to. But I won't. That better? That better? That better? Whatever. You can see it. And like having to deal and seeing so I know how I was gonna connect it to Celine Dion. Seeing somebody struggling, seeing somebody that was so and still is like one of the most talented like musicians and singers struggle with their voice. I've really been struggling with my confidence of my voice and my level of talent just in general of music. Motherfucker, there's a spider right there. Hold on. I got it. Alright, I'm back. I killed the spider. What was I talking about? Existentialist stuff. Oh God, what was I talking about? My voice. One thing I'm really struggling with lately is like just feelings of inadequacy of Jesus. Feelings of inadequacy of like, is my voice good enough? Am I a good enough songwriter? Am I a good enough producer? Am I attractive enough? Am I all of it? Just insecurities. And having to like, in one part of me, the part of me that is also already struggling with like the seasonal depression and that bullshit that I'm ready to be over. It's just like, I'm just fucking tired of. Just done. That part of me is just like, well, I can ignore them. And the other part of me is like, I really shouldn't. I should not do that. I should focus and like try to work through all of it and figure out. Excuse me. Finally, I burp. Trying to figure out like what it is and where it comes from and why and like all of this stuff. And like having both sides of that. Like, I know, obviously, the side I'm going to lean towards is the side of me that's like, I need to work through it and get through it. Because that's just part of life. Like, there's two options. I ignore it, and eventually I'm going to have to deal with it, or I just deal with it now. Sometimes the ignore it for now and deal with it later, sometimes that does work. But right now I'm at a point where I'm like, I just need to get through it. Because I know it is part of my life and part of me that is like, if I don't deal with it now, it's only going to hold me back more as an artist and as a creator and as a songwriter and a singer and performer and all of it. So if I don't deal with it now, it's only going to slow my progress as an artist and a pop star. So, yeah. Heady and heavy shit. Not really, but kind of. Only the fabric of, like, some of the most important things to me in my life and things I'm dealing with. It's just not that serious. But yeah, I'll be alright. It's just life. I love saying that because it's so, like, it so sums up everything about me. Like, it's just life. But sometimes when I say it to people, they're like, it's not, like, take it more seriously. I'm like, and I just think it's, like being able to laugh and smile at all of it and look at the absurdities of life in general is how I get through a lot of it. Whether that's healthy or not. Not a clue. But I love, like, it's just life. It really just is. But, on another note, I've been rewatching The Good Place. So I finished White Collar, which makes me really, really sad. And you know that, like, that, what do they call it? Post-series depression or something of, like, having a TV show that you're watching that, like, once you get to the end of it, you don't have anything to look forward to that's going to happen in the show afterwards, which is, like, its own level of depression. and just like its own level of like this shit sucks. Um, and I was like, I just want to watch something. I just wanted something that I could get through real quick, really easily, and just like I've seen it before, just power through it. And I was like, I'll rewatch The Good Place. It's such a good show. It's in the line of those shows that like I love because they're so like heartwarming, and they make you feel so hopeful about life and about love and about every aspect of it, and that like you can work it out and you can make it work and you can figure it out and you can find love and you can find happiness, and like all like this existentialist, very philosophical, very pretentious bullshit, which unfortunately is right in my alleyway, it's right in my back alley. Wait, no, that sounds wrong. Um, Not in the poop chute. It's not down my poop chute. Um, it it's right. It's in my wheelhouse. To give you another 85-year-old man saying. Shout out, Grandpa. Love you. Um, but I forgot how good that show is, and I'm almost done with it already. I started it like Wednesday or Thursday, and and now it's Sunday, and I'm almost done with it. Like I'll probably finish it tomorrow, because it isn't that long of a show, but it is just a phenomenal show. And like all the kids, it's such a funny show. The humor is so smartly written, and it's so creative, and the I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. Here's what I'm gonna do. If you haven't seen The Good Place and you're gonna watch it, I'm gonna spoil a main part of it, especially one aspect of it. And if you don't want it spoiled, skip ahead 30 seconds and we'll move on. All right, skip. So, that the first season twist of The Good Place, where they reveal they're actually in the bad place, is one of the best twists in all of TV across the board. It is like when Eleanor realizes that they're actually in the bad place at the end of the first season, and it all twists and changes the entire scope of the series. It is so phenomenal. And we're going to go back. And I just love the show in general. Like, it is just so fun. The characters are so heartwarming. The love stories, like I said before, the humor is phenomenal, of like having all these people. It's like a fish out of water, like Breakfast Club scenario of you just have all these people that have had such different lives and personalities and cultural things, and putting all of it together and making it work. It's so naturally funny. I love it so much. And I don't know what I'm going to watch again. I don't know what I'm going to watch now that when I'm done watching that. But I'll figure it out. I rewatched Almost Famous. If you haven't seen Almost Famous, it's this like mid-90s movie, I think, or early 90s, about this kid who goes on, or it came out in 2000. Never mind. It's this movie about this kid who goes on tour with this fictional band called Stillwater, and he's writing for Rolling Stone, and he wants to be a writer and a rock journalist, but these like guys take him under his wing, and it just shows like the life of this upcoming band and this kid, and then like this girl that is the muse of the band, and like all of it it's such a good movie. And I hadn't seen it in years when I rewatched it last week. And it like, is it Billy Corgan who plays the main like rock star guy? Not remotely. Never mind. Billy Corgan is the freaking Smashing Pumpkins guy. Who is the guy in Almost Famous? Almost Famous cast. What the hell is the guy's name? Billy Crudup. I was close. He's phenomenal. And like the kid and the acting in the movie across the board is great. It's such a perfect movie, and obviously I have even more partiality to it, I'm not sure that's a word, but like, because Mr. Old Elton John is in there. It's just like, it's such a great movie. It's so, and as like an independent artist and somebody on the rise in the music industry and trying to like build my platform. Oh, I hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. Didn't I completely forgot to mention that? I hit 1,000 followers on TikTok today, which is like nothing. It's nothing, but it's also like monumental for me. It's such a big achievement for me of 1,000 followers because it was like 100 is a lot, and like 100 you build on that, but a thousand is 1,000, and that feels like the first number where I'm like, or it feels more substantial than even like 900. I'm super happy about that. We'll come back to that, but we're talking about Almost Famous. Um, I love Almost Famous is so good, and it just like the relationships and the dynamics of like the way it talks about the music industry and talks about fame and popularity and like living in that. Any movie that is about the entertainment and the music industry, every aspect of it, I am more partial to and like more because I'm in it. That's like there's a reason La La Land is my favorite movie. I think it's a perfect movie. I think it's the greatest movie of all time, and a big aspect of it is simply just because it's about the entertainment and the creative and music and film industry. But Almost Famous is phenomenal, and it has Elton John in it. Not in the movie, but like soundtracks of Elton John are in the movie. Um, it's just like so good, and that and fuck, what was I going to go back to? Um, oh, it reminds me of there's this movie called Yesterday. It's a it's a movie about the Beatles discography, and it follows this guy. He gets in an accident, and when he wakes up, the entire world doesn't know the Beatles ever existed, but he remembers them, and he remembers their songs, and he's a musician. So he takes their songs, and he records them and releases the Beatles songs for himself, and he becomes mega famous. And it's a pretty entertaining movie. It's not the greatest movie ever made, but I really, really like it. And there's one scene in that movie I think of all the time when I show people my music or I send people my music of like, he's sitting down and he's playing his parents one of the songs that he wrote that is just a Beatles song, and I can't remember if it's I think it's no, I think it's Yesterday. He's sitting down and he's playing Yesterday on the piano or some song. He's playing one of the like most greatest songs ever made. And um let's see. But he's playing it for his parents for the first time, or he's playing Let It Be. He's playing Let It Be for his parents. And he's sitting down, and he's stressed. And he's when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. He's sitting down and he starts singing it, and his parents keep interrupting him, and he keeps getting cut off, and nobody's really paying attention. And I think about that all the time because there's this thing of like I could be making the greatest song ever made, and when I show it to people, they're like, meh. It only after it comes out and when the song is successful and it's one of the greatest songs of all time, then do people take it seriously. And I think about that all the time. Obviously not because like I'm gonna write like Let It Be, but because there's this thing in my head of like when I show people my music and they don't really care or pay attention, it's because it's bad, but it's just like it's natural to them that they shouldn't listen to it and be like, this is the greatest thing ever made. So I always think of that scene in Yesterday because Let It Be is one of the greatest pop songs ever made. And he's sitting and playing it for his parents and they just don't really care. Like they're like, oh, this is okay. Um and there's another scene where he's playing Yesterday when he gets a new guitar, and then somebody's like, it's no Fix You by Coldplay. And Fix You's a great song, but like there's this thing of I'm always insecure about like my songs aren't good enough, and it's not that they're not good enough and that people don't like that they're not good enough and people don't think they're the greatest thing ever made, obviously because I'm not there yet, or I would like to get there, but whoever knows if I will. But um like obviously it's a movie, but he's playing some of the greatest pop songs ever written, and these people just don't really give a shit. So it does make me feel better. Thinking about those scenes, and when I show people my own music, and they're just like, meh. But also, my music could suck donkey shit, but I think it's good. But yeah, diving back in, I didn't even think I was going to talk about this. I completely forgot about this and didn't even put it in the outline. I had 1,000 followers on TikTok. It is so motivating that, like, it's taken so long. But since I started the podcast, it's definitely speeded up. It's split it up. It's like, it's fast forwarded up. It is 2x up. I don't know. But it's very, very motivating. Sidebar, I have only listened to half of Brat, and I will eventually be talking about Brat because I do really like it. I just, for some reason, like, can't get myself to sit down and listen to the entire album, but I do like him. But hitting 1,000 followers on TikTok is like the first stepping stone for me of, like, holy shit, of like 1,000 people is not a small amount. And I know, like, even the difference between 999 and 1,000 for some reason in my head is so different, and I don't know why. I think it's just the size of the number, because it will never be below 1,000. Or, I mean, I guess it could drop to 0 of, like, if everyone unfollows me, but it just feels like such a monumental, like, step in the growth of everything I'm trying to do. And I've been struggling recently, too, with, like, my sound of my music and, like, am I doing enough to make my music? Am I working hard enough? And, like, back to the insecurities of everything, of, like, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? Am I doing this right? Am I just all of it? I've been overwhelmed recently with everything. And I'm working on it. But I've been thinking a lot about, like, is the sound of my music that I'm working on and going towards what I want? And there's parts of me are like, absolutely, it's what I want. And then there's other parts of me where it's like, no. And I don't know, because it's not like part of me is like, yeah, I think it's good. And then another part of me is like, yeah, it's okay. There's a part of me that the sound and the production and the style of my music is like, absolutely 100%, this is the sound of my music I should be making. And then there's another part of me on the other side that is like, absolutely not. This is not the sound I want to be making with my music. And the fact that I am so 100% on one side and 100% on the other is very conflicting for me. And obviously the solution is somewhere in the middle. And I'm very conflicted because this doesn't happen very often either, but for the first time in a long time, I don't really know how to get there. I don't know I know what I could do. I shouldn't say I don't know how to get there, but, like, it's very not demotivating. It's very disheartening and it's a very difficult thing to have as a creative of, like, I have so many things I think I could try and that I think I should try and do and experiment with that I don't know where to start, which is a good problem to have. But it's still very, like, overwhelming of, like, I feel like so many things are so right, but so many things are so wrong that it's like, I don't know. It's very overwhelming. But I'm still very motivated to figure it out and get through it because I really want to start, like, the song I was working on for a long time. The one that I even said was one of the best songs I think I had ever made. I've kind of hit this thing where I'm like, I don't know if it sounds like me. It sounds like me trying to, I don't know. Like, I really like how it sounds, but part of it, I listen to it and I'm like, it doesn't feel as authentic to what I want to do with my sound as I want it to. And the thing about that I don't like is that I don't know where to go other than keep going into that sound. And I know that's not the direction I should go. So I'm I don't know. Both creatively. I'm both very motivated and very stuck. It's incredibly frustrating, but I'm gonna figure it out because I want to. The three songs I have, I really like, and I want to wrap it up, and I want to have a full EP done and out by the time summer's over. So I really need to like nut up or shut up and figure it out. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was a lot. I think that was more rambly than normal, more like stream of consciousness, which is good. I think it's good to like get it all out. And we've been talking a lot about like we've been getting a lot more personal the past few weeks of the episodes in the show, and just like I don't know. Let me know if y'all like that. If y'all like this, the talk about like me talking more about my personal life and talking about what I'm going through as an artist, or if you just want me to talk about like pop culture and stuff. Either way, I don't care. Whatever is better, whatever y'all prefer, I can work with. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I've got I don't really know. I've got stuff I could do. I got 1,000 followers on TikTok, which is super motivating. Yeah, it is fun. But yeah, uh, this is the Monday episode, so like normally, if you want to send in questions or topics for me to talk about on the Thursday episodes of this podcast that are the Q&A episodes every week, send me a DM on Instagram with your questions or topics or anything you want me to talk about on the episodes, and you can be part of the podcast. But I'm going to wrap it up. So as always, y'all, I have been your future favorite pop star, Landyn Zane. And this, as it will always be, is, for the record, deuces.